Guys, welcome to our pit lane last to first challenge. We have qualified the car on pole position, but decided for the content to go from pit road. Into the race we go, P28, cold brakes, cold tires all around, 2.5 seconds of disadvantage from the get-go, but as you can imagine, that won't mean that there is no action on lap 1. So it was the first chicane. We saw the guys ahead, so far so good, no yellow flags, everyone seemed to be behaving so far, and then the guys broke for the second chicane. I took my normal braking marker and suddenly I saw white smoke everywhere. We went 3 wide to the outside, got boxed in, pulled out of the move. However, the guy on the very inside also pulled out from our move, and then we were on the hunt. Guys, at this stage 13 seconds of gap to the leader already, and remember, this is a 90-minute race. We have to get going sooner rather than later, and so we went on for the move here on Oscar Gargo onto the way to Ascari, side by side, not really lined up, so we decided to give it a break and see what Gargo is doing, but as he seemed to be defending, we pulled out of the move and decided to keep in safety for the moment. Don't risk any stupid stuff on lap 1, because as you can imagine, lap 2 is just about to be as close as it was on lap 1, and here we go for the outside. Enough room is given all around, but suddenly we found ourselves in a traffic jam running into the rear end of Richard's Soul. Very, very sorry for that contact right there. I saw there was a couple of spinning cars, but I did not expect the entire pack to just park it and let people turn around. Anyway, as you can imagine, lap 2, the fields still close within each other. That meant we came down to this situation. A 2 or even 3 wide moment into the final turn into Ascari. We go on the inside once again on Oscar Gargo, accelerating better out of Parabolica than any of the 3 cars ahead. Even here getting a run on Brandon Pfeiffer, where we are going on the inside, making it 3 wide down towards turn 1. We need to be heavy and early on the brakes and keep the car straight, so there is no touchy from us on Brandon Pfeiffer, but sadly Raw Racing has spun out on turn 1, rejoining here. And guys, if you appreciate the content, please consider becoming a subscriber on our YouTube channel. Ring the bell for more action in sim racing in the future. Speaking about action, we keep on the pin, we are pushing, we are trying to make our way to the front. Lap 3 it is, into lap 4 we go. Luke Pacour right ahead of us, a slipstream slingshot overtaking maneuver coming up. On the inside we go, easy pass for us for 19th position. In the meanwhile, 23 seconds back. So 23 seconds is less gap than we had in our first episode where we took the Joker lap together with Yane. I've linked you the video here in the top right corner, but we're coming back in our race as Paolo Nucci is going down on the road towards the bridge, towards Ascari in lap 4. We're having a little bit on the look on the inside, but decide obviously to pull out because there was not really an overtaking spot for us. That was not a situation where you put the nose in. So we took another run out of Ascari, trying to maximize everything that we could have here on Paolo to then this time put our car almost alongside. We get out of the draft early, but we are later on the brakes, and while Tom Osborne is spinning out on the outside, giving us a freebie, we are on the verge of Theo. We are on his rear wing, we are closing the gap, and our setup really good in the straight line speed, coming closer down the line on the inside, and that is going to be an outbraking maneuver into turn 1. Need to keep the car tight on the inside to not run into the path of Theo, but the move being done cleanly. Lap 5, still lap 5, the same lap. We have closed the gap to our friend Jerome, who is a bit intimidated there by Gary Monreal spinning out on Ascari. That allows us to give us an awesome run on the inside on the exit on Jerome, accelerating down the way towards the Parabolica, taking 14th position. In the meanwhile, 25-second gap. So that was a big concern with Hamza Belhassan in the lead, being really quick, and we being stuck in traffic. But obviously we decided for that challenge. 25 seconds, end of lap 6 is coming up as we come closer to Benito Luis. Once again, a good run we get out of Ascari, and actually Benito says, you know what, Michi, take the inside lane. Here we go into the Parabolica for the 13th place. Right ahead of us then, Robin Deschamps, just one lap later. Once again, we're getting close here on Ascari. It seemed to be that our car had a superior pace compared to the other people around us, allowing another move towards down Ascari. Obviously not the perfect overtaking spot as you think about it, because you compromise your entry and exit of Parabolica, and in our case even we had a big struggle to keep the car between the white lines, and that actually allowed Robin another look into our position, trying to re-overtake us. We had to go defensive towards turn 1, kept the line nicely, kept the position nicely for P12. Just 2 laps later then, we were on the rear end of Matteo Giraldo. Once again, we're increasing our gap for Ascari to enable ourselves, using the car performance that we have on the guys ahead of us, to once again go for a slingshot overtake towards the Ascari chicane. Not the Ascari chicane, the Parabolica corner. Sometimes you just need to make the moves whenever they are happening, and they kept happening in good spots for us as we come with a massive run here on Thibaut Grosjean. Lap 11 in the meanwhile, 10th position we are. We went for the outside lane, and it was this moment where I was like, yeah, I should have maybe taken the inside lane, but okay, here we are. We need to maximize the grip on the outside lane, brake later than the guy on the inside. We do that perfectly, and even turn in first into the first turn. So that was position 9 sealed. Into lap 13 we go, on the rear end of Jan Barth, having a much better exit out of the final chicane. And actually we were a bit opportunistic. Jan let us go, thank you for that, into P8. As you can see, in the meanwhile the gap still 25-26 seconds. You've seen though on the delta timer, it was a couple of laps where we started gaining on Hamza in the lead. So was the luck with us? Was Hamza's tire about to die, as we are putting more moves on Matteo Bellotto here? Late on the brakes, tight on the apex of the Parabolica corner, but a good exit that promoted us into P6. Just 2 laps later then, Peter Schoenman right ahead of us. A little bit of a wiggle by him on the exit of Lesmo 2 that allows us to get us a run, but the pass, I felt it was done earlier than it actually was, so we had to brake really late for Ascari, but we kept the line, didn't slip off the road too much. Thank you for Peter for keeping it clean as we went on. Lap 21 then, it was about pit stop time. Hamza Belhassan already in the pits. The gap was 23 seconds at this point. Purple sector 2, and then we lost it on the brakes, nearly fighting hard to keep the car in line, crossing the line with 63 kph. And we knew it immediately that this is likely to be a penalty. I released the brake just a tad too early. And that was the moment where the entire race literally could get out of our hands. And it is obviously the painful moment when you're going down pit road. For the penalty. You know exactly that you may have screwed this up badly. Are you just waiting for the penalty to be given to you once you exit the pits? Yes. No penalty, guys. We were spot on. We were spot on. Big relief for us though, because risk, maximum push. We have been so close. I think maximum perfection. Really close from throwing away this fantastic race up to this point. Let's have a look. We're coming down to pit road, losing the car left, right and center, locking up all the tires. Stupidly opened the brakes. And as we analyze here, guys, we could have been completely free of fault, but I was extremely lucky, and I mean extremely, really lucky because this should have been a clear penalty with us slipping into the pit road with 63 kph. Anyway, race was on and we were following P2 here for another move, but it seemed like the pressure has come and made Avi spinning into turn 1. Anyway, we were on a move, lap 40 in the meanwhile. I have to also say, we were extremely lucky with Hamza Belhassan having an issue on the pit road, crashing in the very same manner that we did into the pits, but he did it with over 100 kph. Car was destroyed and race was destroyed for him too, as we are going for the lead here into that second chicane. Sadly, a bit of touchy by Danny Barrow. I assume he has just simply lost the car, because I've done that a couple of times too, locking the rears. Very easy to do. And guys, that is the story of the day. We have been extremely lucky with Hamza Belhassan running into issues. Remember, we have overtaken Matteo Blotto for 6th before our first pit stop, and it is Matteo Blotto in the end that will become 2nd place. But before that, we are going for pit road. And guys, if you appreciate this video, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell as you see second pit stop being done smooth and easy. No risk for a penalty, no risk for speeding, no risk for spinning, because this was the final splash and dash for us to get us to the end. And as I mentioned before, Matteo Blotto takes 2nd place in the end with 19 seconds of gap. And we have been extremely lucky, because it was not only us not getting a penalty for the pits, it's also race leader and quick driver Hamza Belhassan running into issues that actually handed us the win on that occasion. However it is, we take it though. P1 starting from pit lane, being 28th, being 25 seconds off the lead at some point. Again, it's hard to compare, because obviously with the issues Hamza had and not the penalty that we would have deserved, hard to compare to each other. We're still taking away some good rating from this race as we climb up on the Gold 1 ladder. And guys, I hope you have appreciated the race. Please, any comments, put them down in the comments area below. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget the thumbs up.